Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we are going to go over my top 5 tips that I think every single Kalista player needs to know. Now, if you're new to my channel, my name is LowFit. I do educational content, I do tips videos, guide videos, and also stream over on Twitch. I'm going to put a link to that down below if you would like to check me out there and ask me any questions. I'm always happy to help. Now, my goal behind this video is to give you a better understanding of the champion, give you make you a better Kalista player, give you a better understanding of the champion as a whole, their kit, and where they can really thrive and where they might struggle a little bit, as well as I am a bit limited with this format, only doing 5 tips. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, as I know the Kalista community has a lot of really heavy one tricks. I would just really love to hear your guys' thoughts and how you were able to really make this champion work. Finally, I am running a community event where I am doing a tournament, and it's probably gonna have max 3 to 4 teams. We're gonna have a prize pool of about $100 for the winning team. So if you want to get some RP, want to get that new skin, the new flashy world breaker skin, come and join the Discord down below, and you can sign up through there. So with all that out of the way, let's jump into the first tip with Kalista. Alright, and getting into tip number 1 with Kalista, I want to talk about something that is rather unique towards Kalista and her kit, and that is her overall strength when she is around terrain and her ability to kite people out in very unique situations and really take full advantage of the map. So you want to think about the different areas where you are able to use your passive hop in a way where you can dodge a lot of the melee champions that are going to be coming out in this current meta. How you can look to take advantage of that is by issuing an auto attack command and moving over the terrain and going back and forth, forcing the melee champion to run and really just allow you to stack up a lot of your passive into the enemy and just getting a bunch of rend stacks, and your ability to really kite them out is just going to be huge when you are around these areas. Now, it's going to take a little bit of practice to get really good at just being able to jump over the wall whenever you want to, and just do it in a way where you are never going to misclick, and always have a good understanding of which walls you can and cannot jump over, because there are a lot of fat walls that you are unable to jump over, but there are definite sweet spots. Like right here, you are going to just really be able to punish heavily on melee champions when you are around here. So always look to take advantage of the different terrain where you are able to hop over the wall and kite out melee champions. This is a huge strength that is rather unique to Kalista. That's why I wanted to cover it first, because if you aren't really too used to it, you should probably go into the practice tool and just set up something like I have set up right here, and really just get used to bouncing back over the wall whenever you want to. And that will wrap up my tip number 1 for Kalista. Alright, and getting into tip number 2, I want to go over something that is going to be pretty important in the mid game when you are transferred over into the mid lane. You're looking to push down those mid lane turrets and to get a little bit of game control. I want you to start reimagining the map in a different way when you are looking to play Kalista, because you have a safe side and an unsafe side if you are looking to be self-reliant and you do not have any just allies that are floating around looking to protect you. Now, the safe side would be this side of the lane if you are playing on this side of the map, because you are able to hop over this wall and get a extremely easy quick escape. But say if you were fading towards this side of the lane, you would not be able to hop over this really fat wall. Now again, it is going to be inverted. If you are playing on the north side of the map, you are able to hop over this, so this top side would be the safe part of the lane for you, and the south side would be a little bit more dangerous, unless you are fading towards a obvious, maybe a jungler taking a scuttle crab. This can be a safe side when you are on the north side, but just keep this in mind when you are looking to play Kalista. When you are maybe in a little bit lower elo, you aren't able to count on your teammates that well, and you just really want to focus on peeling for yourself and getting away in sticky situations. Maybe they have an enemy Rammus that is really looking to chase you down a lot, or a Talon that is looking to just jump on top of you. Fading towards this really safe side where you're able to get over the wall quickly is going to be quite advantageous for you. And that will wrap up this tip for Kalista. Alright, and jumping into tip number 3, for Kalista, we're going to start off with one really small tip, and that is, with Kalista, her indicators are not as generous as something like a Thresh or a Blitzcrank, where you just have to kind of get it close to the enemy champion and it will latch on. As you can see here, this indicator, it should hit the enemy champion, but as I throw out my Q, it is not hitting. So if I was a part of the design team, I definitely would shorten this indicator by quite a bit. So as you play more Kalista, you definitely will get more used to the absolute max range of your Q, but do not go off the max range indicator, as it is really unforgiving. It is not going to have any sort of latch like the Thresh, Nautilus, or Blitzcrank hook mechanics when you are playing Kalista. So with a lot of these guys, I do focus on helping out some of the newer players to Kalista, and this is probably just going to be a little bit of a basic tip. If you're one trick Kalista player, you definitely already know a lot of this, but the first thing that really helped me start understanding the hop mechanic is you want to input the attacks during the casting animation of the different things. So when you are playing Kalista, you can get a hop through a couple of different ways. You can get a hop through either your basic auto attacks or your Q. Now, if you insert a auto attack animation or a movement command when you are in the Q line that comes up when you throw out your pierce, you will get a hop, but if you do it too late or too early, the animation will not go through for Kalista. So I'm going to demonstrate right here. I'm going to throw out a Q and we're going to see a line pop up, and I did it too late, so I did not hop. But if I do a Q and I do my input movement command during that Q animation, I am going to get that hop. So you want to use that as kind of a baseline when you are looking to play Kalista and really get those hops down. Now again, there is a little bit of an animation during your auto attacks. As you can see with Kalista, the animation is right when she is taking her spear back and she is just about to throw that. That is when you want to look to throw out your animation, and you will get your hops off as much as you want. So always look to input your movement command during the dead time, during the time where you would punish an enemy laner that is CSing, where they are locked into that auto attack animation. That is when you want to insert your movement command when you are playing Kalista. And that will wrap up tip number 3. Alright, let's talk about tip number 4. We are going to get into itemization and runes. These are my personal favorites. I really like the Hail of Blades to really stack up and get a lot of that early lane pressure when you are playing Kalista. Overheal is great, and getting a little bit of extra attack speed and extra healing from Hunter and Taste of Blood is very beneficial, because you do like running these builds with a lot of extra healing. It is going to make Kalista a little bit of a faux tank in the front, where she is able to drain tank quite a few people. Now, it is really important when you are looking to build Kalista to get your early boots here. As you can see here, lunge distance skills with different boot tiers, so you're going to have a different amount of terrain that you can cover with the different tier of your boots. So if you have tier 1, it's not upgraded in anything special, you're going to get a little bit of an extra jump, and then with your tier 2, you are going to get an even further jump. So getting those early boots is going to be extremely beneficial. Make sure that you are buying those earlier than you would on maybe something like a Tristana, where you would want to rush maybe an Infinity Edge before you finished up your boots. So how you might adjust your build for different situations is if they have a big one-shot assassin that is looking to focus you, because you are going to be one of the hyper carries in the game, Guardian Angel can be quite beneficial. And then if you're maybe playing against a lot of poke, getting a lot of extra healing is going to be quite good. And if you're playing against a suppress, going something like a Mercurial Scimitar can be quite good when you are playing into those champions like Skarner, like Set, like Malzahar, like Urgot. This is going to be a great setup. If you have any questions for me, you can hit me up in the comments down below. If you have, if you need a little bit more tank, Shred Rage Blade can be good, because it will put in the extra spear and can really help you out with getting a little bit extra damage when you are playing Kalista. And that will wrap up this tip. Alright, and getting into the final tip, I want to talk about Kalista, and we're going to talk about a couple of different matchups where she might struggle and a couple of different matchups where she can do quite well. Now, you're going to look at a basic trend right here. When you are playing Kalista in the top lane, champions that have a point-and-click ability that really bypass your innate mobility with your passive, where you're able to dodge skill shots, are going to be quite good into you. So you do not want to play Kalista top into champions like this, like like Maokai, like Wukong that just E-dashes on you, maybe something like a Poppy that can ground you and stop your hopping with her W, and then just do a quick endpoint stun into a wall with her E. So really be careful when you are playing Kalista, as she has some hard counters up in the top lane that are a lot easier to execute than playing Kalista top, and are going to be a lot more forgiving in team fights. Now, where she can thrive and do well in the win rates when she is playing in the top lane are against champions that she can bully a little bit in the early game, being really good into these 3 ranged matchups and into champions that have a really high impactful spell that can be dodged out, something like an Alawi E. Being able to hop away from that is really going to punish Alawi quite heavily and kite her out quite nicely, as well as something like a Silas that is looking to E stun in. Being able to hop out of the way again is going to be a great way to counter that matchup when you're looking to play in the top lane. So when you are playing in the bot lane, we are going to check out the counters real quick right here. When you are playing Kalista, she has a very high win rate again against champions that are not all point and click. So Xayah has a couple skill shots, as well as Kaisa, and Kalista is really able to bully out these champions that need a couple of items before they're extremely effective. Where Kalista is something like maybe like Twitch is, where you can get a early Blade of the Rune King and really start punishing people quite heavily in lane. So really look to play Kalista in these particular matchups, as well as she's going to struggle against some champions that are again really point and click heavy and are pretty strong at all points of the game. Now, when you are playing Kalista, it is one of those ADCs that it's just can really skyrocket when you have a duo partner. So if you have a strong duo support partner that likes playing tanky supports, or a support that works well with Kalista, will really do wonders for your win rate. One of my favorite combos with Kalista is something like a Leona. It can be really strong. Something like a Braum that can really lock down champions, as well as shield you in really high damage situations where they are looking to focus you. One of my old favorites before ranged champions would be knocked back a little bit was the Cannon support when playing with Kalista. So kind of play around with your duo support and just really figure out what lanes that you really like, because you can really take over those early and mid game situations with Kalista and a strong duo. And that will wrap up my final tip, guys. If you have any questions for me, you can hit me up in the comments down below, and as always, take it easy.